Hey everyone, Kylie the groomer here from Ferology Riverland Pet Grooming. Today we're going to make a quick video on, might not be a quick video, we'll see, brushing your puppy and introducing them to brushing and behaving themselves while they're getting groomed. And this is Jude. He is a toy poodle. He's mine and I love him very much. I think he's, 13 weeks old now. He's a very good boy and a very intelligent boy. He's a little bit feisty still for his grooming, so he's had 3 grooms already. In the first one, we gave him a bath and blow dry and brushed him out. In the second groom, bath and blow dry, and I shaved his little feet, so he's got clean poodle feet, although you can see they're quite hairy now. And in the third groom, I did his face. Actually, he's had 4, I lie. In the third groom, I shaved his face for a clean face, and then in the fourth one, the usual brush and bath, but I also did some trimming on his body because it was just a little bit wild and he was getting too knotted. He is a pet dog, he's not for show, and I'm a pet groomer. I don't do breed specific grooms, and when I introduce my puppies to grooming, I like it to be a fairly gentle introduction so that they are still able to enjoy their time, and that they're not being you know, frightened of the grooming process or anything like that. So take off his little collar, throw it up there. I'm going to use let me just touch the screen. I'm going to use a steel tooth comb, a slicker. That's a long slicker. It's got some long bristles on it, and that's it. So I like to have my little puppers, where's that button? Hang on a second. Still working things out. There we go. All right. I like to have doggy secured because I think it makes it a lot easier. And if you're going to have a long head breed like this, where they need to be brushed regularly, so 2 to 3 times a week or more, I would think that you should have a pretty good setup in place for doing that brushing, because you want to make sure if you're growing out these long coats that you're able to get all of the matting and tangles out between grooms with your professional groomer. So I've got, this is in my salon and my professional setup, but it is very easy to get one of these sort of loopy things. You can see that there, and fix it into a wall somewhere in your home. And then I use one of these little grooming tethers or nooses, if you will. That helped me keep my doggy nice and secure. So even if he wants to run away, he can. So my good little boy here is quite clever. Can you do me sit? High five, and down. Good boy. So he is a very sweet boy. He knows how to behave himself, but he is still very feisty when it comes to brushing. So the first thing we're going to do is use our slicker, which is this guy here with all those long little bristles. It can feel a little bit sharp when you touch it, but it's not too bad. Not at all. All right, he'll carry on probably like a little muppet, but that's pretty standard. So I'm just going to hold him here and start to go over his coat, and just all this is doing is really brushing out the top of the coat. It's not really going all the way to the skin, and he's going to get all fluffy. I haven't brushed him this week because we've just had such a big busy week, which is again why I took some of the length off of his coat, because I don't have time to do heaps and heaps and heaps of brushing on him. So I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to get mats and tangles while I was in a really busy period. So I'm going to work underneath his belly, which is where he gets lots of mats and tangles because he's got Velcro hair. You can see he's doing a, I call it like a flea bite. He does sometimes get a bit too feisty. No, with his teeth. But he does also do a lot of flea biting, which is where they kind of just go along the surface of your skin. And that's like a grooming thing. So I don't mind if he does that, but when he's getting too feisty with his teeth, no. I'm just going to tell him no. He's going to carry on, and the point of this is to teach him that he's not allowed to do that. So yes, he doesn't like it. Of course he doesn't like it. I'm holding him still, and I'm making him you know, not do what he wants to do. So of course he's going to get a bit feisty about that. That's understandable behavior from a puppy who's going to say, no, I don't want to do that. But it's a breed that needs to be brushed all the time. So he doesn't really have a choice. Otherwise we're going to end up with, you know, dogs that need to be sedated and have severe matting removed. So we need to make sure that we persist through this stage and all of their protesting, and we teach them that actually you just need to calm down and get brushed. And I love this doggy to the ends of the earth. He is my little baby, but whether he likes it or not, he still has to get brushed. So at this age, it's really super important that we get in there and work through everything, and whether he likes it or not, he gets brushed. And as he gets older, he will calm down. So he doesn't have any mats or tangles. He's got a couple of little bits around his legs and things where he's gotten a bit grubby, but there's nothing here that is seriously painful for him. If your dog already has seriously painful matting, don't try and brush it out, get them to a groomer. There's no point in putting your dog through anything painful, because that will encourage them to be frightened of having their brushing and grooming done. And you've already got a problem on your hands there. So get them to a groomer, get it fixed up, and then ask them for some advice and education around caring for the dog, and go from there, so that you can still have these nice, pleasant grooming times with them. So even though he's really feisty right now, he will probably settle down at some point, because we're doing a full groom on him. He will settle at some point and go to sleep. And I will just be free to groom him peacefully without all of his teethies involved. I need your other foot, please, sir. Thank you. No. So that's flea biting. That is not, he's not trying to attack me or tell me no. No. He will wriggle around and move all over the place, and that doesn't really matter. You need to still continue on. No, no. And get through brushing all of the bits and pieces, even if he does not like it. Gentle, please. So I'm just going to hold up this leg here and try and get into this bit here. Oop, we've got a tangle there. So I'm going to swap over now. He's fairly well brushed out all over on the top of his coat, and now we need to get right down to the skin and make sure that there's no tangles anywhere. And I haven't washed him yet, so normally I would just throw him in the bath and go from there. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to have, you know, he's a week, it's been a week since his last professional groom, and I wanted to show you a dog that has some tangles and things that you'll need to work through. This part, the back, is the easiest part, and most dogs come in with no mats or tangles on their back because it's the easiest part to get to. But then when we get to places like the chest, hey, okay, stop, stop, sit, sit, no, sit, thank you, stop. All right, these are parts that are really hard to get to, and he will continue to persist with his biting and nibbling. I'm holding him not by his throat, I'm holding him by his little bones behind the back of his head, and not very tight at all. He can wriggle out of that if he really wants to. And we will just keep working through, ignoring most of his behavior unless it's a painful bite. No, please. All right, we just want to ignore his behavior because this isn't playtime, this is grooming time. And we need to set up the understanding that when we come and we get on this table or whichever space you set up for brushing, this is where we are going to do our grooming. We are not playing, we're not loving on each other, we're not having cuddles and kisses, so you can't sit in my lap while I do it. You need to be a good boy, a good girl, and get your grooming done. So as you can see, he's still carrying on. I'm going all the way around these legs, getting into his underarms here, making sure that we're getting every little bit all the way down to the skin. Jude. And that little tether around his neck is just helping me to, as a third little arm, to keep him still so that he's not able to run away. Thank you, sir. Turn him around. Work down his little bum here. So he gets tangles in here. Stop. Stop. Thank you. Right in there. And in his little butt, because he's got a very fluffy butt at the moment. So, I mean, pretty much whichever way you can get in there, you get in there. Until he learns to stand still and be good for his brushing. It's just a matter of working consistently. Oh, excuse me. Do you need to have a calm down moment? Okay, let's sit. If you be silly, that's going to happen, my love. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Come on, you focus. Sit. Thank you, good boy. All right, you need to calm down. Yes, you do. Mwah. So he's got one leggy here on the inside. So this is, you know, evidence that I'm missing some spots, perhaps. So some areas to work on. He's not really keen on having these areas done. And obviously I haven't gotten in there as much as I should have. But never fear, it's only been a week, so we can get back in here and clean that up. So just nice and slowly working through with the comb there, making sure that everything's clean. So he's probably got some urine in there, which sounds really gross, but when you look at how fluffy he is and he's going outside to do a wee, he's probably walking in it or getting some splashes, and after a week that's built up. So once we give him his bath, that'll come out a lot cleaner. And we can see now he's starting to settle down, which is lovely, because then my poor fingers don't get little nibbles all over them. Do they? No, they don't. No more nibbles on my fingers. Let me in. Let me in. So I'm just going to loosen this off a little bit so I can adjust it up here and get all the way under his neck. So now I'm just holding him over his nose, which gives me a little bit more control while I get in here. There we go. So again, I'm not holding tight. It's just not easy for him to wriggle out of this one, but he still could if he wanted to. He has not had very many sessions before this to get him used to his grooming, okay? So this is something that anyone can do at home with their doggies. It's just a matter of being persistent enough and have consistency in what you're doing. So not making a big deal out of it. Yes, you'll stop in between and give them little bits of love and refocus them, but it's not playtime. None of this is playtime, so you don't want to encourage them to chase the brush or bite the brush or get the brush, nothing like that. Don't put any focus on the brush or comb. Make sure the focus is between you and your puppy, because we don't want them being mad at the tools either, because then you've got a dog that's biting scissors and clippers, and all sorts of injuries are going to happen if we've got that going on. So we're going to go into his ears now, make sure we're brushing all those little floofs out all the way around. And a lot of dogs get so much gunk and build up here, you need to make sure you're getting in here. All right, now this little ear floof. So see how we've persisted, and he's now settled into having this done, and he's admitted defeat, and he's going to let me get in there and get everything done until I grab the clippers and shave his face and feet, which I'm going to do next. That is not necessarily a part of this video though. This is more about just your everyday brushing at home with your dog, all right? Unless you know what you're doing, you're not going to be clipping or grooming this sort of dog on your own at home. So this is what you need to do 2 to 3 times a week to stay on top of their little tangles and all their little grubby bits. Hey, and you can see he's all fluffy again. He's got no noodly hair, which means there's no knots or tangles anywhere. And the last bit is just around his bum that I haven't quite got into, so I'm just going to put his tail to one side. I'm holding it over here and try and get through his little butt. There we go. So I did leave that to last because I wanted him to wear himself out a little bit before I tried to get in there. And we'll go one more time on these inside legs. Just those sort of really harder to reach places. You sort of want to start with them and finish with them. One moment, please, sir. One moment, please. Good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. Lots of people give their dogs treats while they're doing this. I don't, because I don't know, it's like giving your kids pocket money. You know, it's a real personal choice, but this is something that has to be done. Whether he's a good boy or a bad boy or anything like that, we have to get this done. It's not optional. So it's kind of like giving your kids $1 because they went to school today. You know what I mean? You might give them pocket money if they cleaned the car or mopped the floors or something like that, you know, but you wouldn't give them $1 for going to school or brushing their teeth or having a bath. because that's just something that's expected of them in their life, is that they're going to have to do that. So we don't reward normal everyday behaviors, and this is something that is going to have to be a normal everyday behavior for this doggy. We will certainly tell him that he's done a great job and we're really proud of him and he's a good boy. Yes, we will. But I don't want this to be a food-based exercise, you know. I want him to just come in and get his grooming done, and then we go home and we play, don't we? Yes. You want to sit? Good boy. Wait. High five. Down. Good boy. All right, so he's done a fantastic job. We can tell him he's a good boy. It's taken me, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to do. Even though a poodle coat is not necessarily a shedding coat, you do lose hair. It does come out, and we need to make sure that we're brushing that out and not leaving it in the coat to be all, my bin's down there, all nasty and yucky and turn into mats. So I am going to end this video here, and I'm going to continue on with the rest of my grooming, which I will make into a longer video about grooming little toy poodles. All right, but that's your basic home grooming and brushing that you need to be doing. You need a steel toothed comb and a slicker brush. And if you do that 2 to 3 times a week, and when you bring him into his groomer, they will be very happy to look after him, or her, whoever you've got. And this is the same for any longer haired coat of dog. It doesn't matter what they are, if they've got a drop coat or a poodle coat or anything like that. Even your like Pomeranians with those really big thick coats, or they're a double coated, any sort of shedding dog, you want to tidy up the top coat with this, and then you want to get in with something like this right down to the skin and clean it all up. And that will keep them healthy and tidy. Yes, it will. And feeling good. So that's our quick video on home grooming your puppy and teaching them about brushing. If you've got any questions, please drop it down below. If you could like this video, what are you doing? Subscribe, comment, all of the above. It really helps me out with growing this channel. And that is it from us. Have a great day, and we will see you again another time. Thank you.